Stitcher. Welcome or welcome back. I disappeared, didn't I? It's been 3 weeks. I didn't think I had enough to show you a week ago, so I thought I'd give it another week and then come back. The first week, so I recorded on a Monday, and the next morning I was woken up by maintenance in our building telling me that the construction workers were here to rip out my bathroom. And it was like, 10 minutes, let me get up. So what was supposed to be a 1-day job turned into a 4-day job. And I was just exhausted, so I didn't really stitch it all that first week. So what they did is they ripped out a tub and tiled walls and put in a shower. So there was a lot of dust. I took my crochet, my cross stitch, anything that could get dirty, I put it in my bedroom, closed the door because they didn't close the door to the bathroom, which meant I had dust everywhere. And they would leave about 4:30 in the afternoon, and then I went to town trying to clean the whole place and mop the floors and the whole bit, and then get dinner, and it was 7, 8 o'clock, and I was just like, no, I'd put in maybe 200 stitches and I was done. Anyway, so that's why I didn't have much to show you, but I made up for it this past week. So I have 4 cross stitch projects. I have one that will go away after today, and I'm going to show you what's going to take its place. I've got a question for you on crochet. We'll leave that till later. I have books. I'm only going to tell you about my favorites because, well, you know, construction was going on. I put on audiobooks and did other things and read books. And then I have a furniture piece that I want to show you that I did. So, okay, that out of the way. First, I'm going to say it is hot. So I have my window open. If there's any weird cuts here, it may be because of noise. I'm going to cut that out. But it is 9 in the morning. It is 77 degrees with 77% humidity. And it's very overcast, so there's not a lot of sun coming in. So yeah, I got the windows open because there is a nice breeze, trying to keep it cool. Okay, so let's talk about cross stitch. I always forget certain details. So today I am going to show you projects that are all on aida, and 3 of them are on 18 count, 1 is on a 20 count. I stitch everything 2/1 full cross. I stitch typically cross country by sections, so it could be by page or by what fits in my hoop, but that's how I stitch. So, numbers. So in the last 3 weeks, I have added, even having a week with hardly any stitching, I have 17,565 stitches complete. So let's get started with the projects. So this first one is probably the least exciting. This is Life Support. Artwork is by Giuseppe Miconi, charted by Stitch Moon Designs, currently not available, sorry. And I have been down here filling in all of this. So if you've been here a while, you know that I made a mistake over here, and this is a project I take with me outside, traveling, what have you, because at the moment, because I'm just filling in black. And so briefly, what I did is I forgot to mark off a row of 10 that I completed, and I did it a second time. So I had to adjust this side and add an extra row in, right in through here, so that this all lined up. So that's what I did. Here's where it was before. This was, when you last saw it, 45.92%. It's now at 48.02%. So yeah. And if you want to see the whole thing, we'll try. So there's no way I'm getting this all in. This is like, I don't remember, 600 some stitches. So you can see, I love how that leaf looks up there and the shadow behind it. I adore that. So that is where we're at. And yeah. So I'm thinking I now have just under 8,000 stitches of black left. So I'm thinking if there is a mini goal to have, it would be on that one, and it would be to finish the black before 2027. So yeah, I have enough time, maybe 1,000 stitches a month. I don't know. Okay, this next one is Children of the Forest. This is artwork by Emily Fiengenschuh. I think I'm saying her name right. I actually Googled it, and so if I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. This is stitched, of course, 2/1 on 18 count. So, oh yeah, see, I told you I'd forget something. This is 18 count 20 count Aquarius by Color and Cotton. This is my only 20 count. The rest are all 18 count that I'm going to show you today. So, this is where I'm at. Can you see all that? I don't even really remember what I did now. Let me see here. Oh, okay. So I filled in, I came over here to the border and I filled in all these colors. This dark blue was already in there, but I filled around it and started coming over here. Okay, so here's where it was before. And I have added, oh yeah, I also, you can see stitches down there. I have, where am I? Added 2,161 stitches, taking this from 5.82 to 6.97. So I'm almost at 7% on this one. It's so delicate. I always say that when I show it. Okay, so this next one is, I didn't put it in here. Oh, here it is. Death in the Garden, artwork by Megan Majewski. Oh, these three that I'm going to show you. So, Children of the Forest, what I'm about to show you, and the next one are all by UnconventionalXStitch. So the artwork is by Megan Majewski. Of course, this is on an 18 count Very Light Pewter by Zweigart. Almost all my fabrics are Zweigart, unless I say otherwise. And let's see, can I do it this way? Yeah. So last time I saw you, I was filling in a lot of that page. I added a little bit more to that page, but I came down to find the bottom here. So let me just, for that section, show you where it was. So this one I added 1,011 stitches, bringing this to 36.37%. And here's everything I have so far. Can I get that in? Yeah, you can see the bottom. So I'm not sure. Now this one is the one going away for a while. And I'm not sure where I want to go next with her. When I started this, I was doing diagonal pages. So working from down here and working my way up this way diagonally. So from right to left. And I could do that. So I could finish this page, then finish this page. This one I think is done. And then I could just fill in. I could also just start squaring off the bottom. So I haven't decided, and I don't have to decide right away, but if you have a preference, let me know. And next time it comes out, we'll see what I can do. Okay, this next one is where the bulk of my stitches went. This is Strength. Artwork is by Nicolee Payne, charted by UnconventionalXStitch. This one received 10,232 stitches. And here she is. So now I'm all the way to the bottom. I'll show you the full piece when I'm done here. First of all, let me show you where she was. So I've been working on the fingers and this background over here. So she went from 62.33% to 67.51%. And I'll bring her in. So I have a few more stitches right along here, a couple around this ring here, and then I just need to finish filling into this is more for headscarf, and so I just need to fill that in. This dark area was so weird for me. I had to look at the chart, and what it is, it's the area between the knuckles and the fingers. I'm holding this, so I can't really show you, but yeah, it would be, that right there would be under the fingers. A little bit of shadow. But yeah, I've got all those rings. When I went to pick, I was picking symbols and working my way down and over. and then taking a break and coming over here and working background, and then going back. And when I picked a stitch here and it was blue, I was so excited because this has so many neutral shades, right? So earthy, and you get your browns and your muted golds and your grays, and you've got, you know, 3371 and black, and I hit that blue. It was like, yes, blue. So let's see if I can bring that in any closer. It's kind of blowing out a little bit, but yeah, that's where she is. So this is the piece I want to finish this year, so really excited about that. So, okay, so here is the before and the after from what you all saw. And now, the piece that is going to replace Death in the Garden. This is Broken Wings by Enys Guerrero. This was charted by Thread Geeks, and I don't know if anyone is charting Enys's work right now. And here's where I'm starting at. And I forgot to get numbers, but this one is being stitched on 18 count that I dyed myself. This right here is the halfway point of the length of it. So I have 2 stitches here, 1 stitch here, and then a bunch in through here that need to be completed. And so I think what I'm going to do is keep working down. I want to work this one, I think, in columns. Now as long as I do, so I start, my stitches go bottom right, top left, and so because I do that, I won't have any page break lines here because I'll continue to stitch the same way as I come down. When I get page break lines is when I snake. So if I come down and then turn around and come up and then come around, that's when my, even though I'm still doing the X, just because you're starting it, you're starting it in a different place, and so it lays differently. And that's what gives you those lines. So yeah, this one, we'll see where this gets to, but this will come out now. It'll be worked on like every other weekend for 2 months. So there's that. Let's take a break from crafts and show you a hobby. And this is a furniture repair and upcycle that I did. This is I will put pictures in as I talk. This is a knockoff of a Calyx. I believe it was from, I believe she said she got it at Walmart. And she moved and lost one of the shelves, which I kind of liked. But it was extremely wobbly. You could touch it with one finger and it would just wobble. So I brought it up to my place. She was going to throw it in the dumpster. And I went, you can't throw that away. I said, it's not broken. You don't throw things away that are good. So I glued it back together. And so this is where you last saw it. It was, I had just taken the top off. I had fixed the holes, put some glue down, and reattached it. And I was, even though I had screws in it, I always put a weight on it. I don't know why, it's a habit. So that's why there's a weight on top. Just weighing it down to make sure the glue and everything took. And then I went along and found all the other mistakes. We're not going to go through all that, but I sturdied it. I made it very sturdy. Then I sanded it down, primed it, painted it. That paint is, now here's what it looked like almost done. I painted it, and as I was looking at it, I was thinking about the backing. I wanted to have a backing on it, and I wanted to use fabric. And I had this piece of fabric that I was going to use for something else. But I looked at it and I thought, So I went and got the fabric, and the panels lined up perfectly behind each of the squares. So that's why that fabric is on there. I loved it. And the top is balsa wood. They were $6.99 for 6 pieces. I think it was 6. Yeah, 6 pieces. I got 2 packages. Now balsa wood, if you're ever going to try this, balsa wood does not take stain well. It is very soft, it is very porous, and it will grab unevenly. So you have to use a pre-stain conditioner. So I used English chestnut for that, if you are curious. And I used 2 of the remaining pieces of balsa wood and put them behind, near the bottom of each of the shelves, just so as people are putting things in and out, you kind of know where the back is so that you don't like damage. Because I just stapled the fabric on with my staple gun. And then I found 3-inch square wood blocks that I stained, added as feet. They were sold 6 in a pack for $15. So I originally was looking for 4 feet, and then I thought, why not do 3? So I have 3 in the front, 3 in the back. And so that's what it looks like. Here's what it looked like when I put all my books on it and stuff. The one basket is my grandson's Legos. And I say grandson because the rest of the kids no longer play with Legos. They're too grown up. So they're still his now. And yeah, it was nice because I was able to now compile the books that I had been putting here, there, all together. And so here's what that corner of my living room looked like before. And here's what it looks like now. I did put the one plant back, and the books on that bottom shelf are books that I've read, but I wanted to keep to refer to as resource. And I have a puzzle book down there because I am obsessed with cryptograms. So that is my, oh, and before I take the picture off, do you see that lamp? I had a 4 lamp there, and I really didn't like the 4 lamp in that spot. So I picked up that lamp for, it was used, or as they call it, pre-owned, for $5. It came with the lampshade. It's not the lampshade that was originally with it, and it's not going on my lamp. So this is the lampshade. So what I'm going to do, you can see I've started, I'm going to take the fabric off the form, and I'm going to replace it with a piece of this linen. So just a off-white, and that way it's not competing with the other colors on the shelf. So that's, well, that'll be my next little mini project, is to replace that. Okay, so before we do books, let's talk about crochet. There were plenty of days that I picked up my needle, picked up my yarn. So I'm working on the Seaside Afghan. You can get this from Annie's Attic. And I think what I loved more than anything were the colors. And I thought, I wonder if there's some stitches I don't know. I'd like to learn some new stitches. I'm not enjoying this. It took me a while to figure out, but it's because I'm working from a pattern. So I was taught to crochet by my grandmother when I was, I think, 4. She taught me before I even started kindergarten. And she taught me to make up my own patterns, right? So, how do I want to say this? Okay, let's say clothing, let's say clothing. You would imagine in your head what you wanted, and then you would take measurements of the body, and then you would just start, you would decide in what stitches you wanted to use, how you wanted it to look, and then you go about and make it. And you didn't count your rows or anything. You had your tape measure handy, and you just measured, and when you had the right size, that's when you knew it was done. And so that's what I've always done. I've made dresses for my granddaughters, but I've never used a pattern. And I'm finding that it is much more relaxing for me to make it up, and because that's how I learned, and not be having to refer back to a pattern for every row. And in this case, almost every row is different. And so it's taken the joy out of it. So my question to you is, if you crochet, do you enjoy working from a pattern, and how do you find your groove to just go with it from a pattern? Because that's my problem, is I get through a row, and then I have to stop, pick up the paper, read the instructions, and then go back. I know how to read the pattern, I just don't enjoy that part. So I've picked it up several times, read the pattern, did my chain however many stitches, because each one is a different number of foundation chains, and then looked at it and went, yeah, I'm not doing this, and ripped it back out and put it away. So that's my question to you. Help me figure out if you have any suggestions to find my joy in that. Let me know. I could hear I needed to wipe my nose, but I could hear there was a truck about to make noise. Okay, let's get into books. This will be the last that I have. And I finished Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is the first in 3 of the Children of Time series. Children of Time. I really enjoyed this. This was one that I didn't want to race through it. This was one that was just enjoyable to read at a very slow pace. This book starts off with, especially if you're new here, I'll give a brief recap. We have pretty much destroyed the Earth, and they have sent groups of spaceships out of people. Some are scientists, some are people who are going to, there are scientists who are going to terraform planets, and then there are ships that are going out that are going to populate these terraformed planets. And in the beginning, it starts off with a scientist who has created this nanovirus that will affect only one primate, which is monkeys, to become intelligent. And they will be her workers to terraform this planet and get it ready for humans. And then they will be so intelligent that we will be able to live next to these monkeys. And don't ask me what she thought we were going to do when we lived next to these monkeys. Anyway, there was one person, I don't know how many are involved, but there's one that she's working with who decides she's playing God, she has no right, and he blows up the ship before she can send the monkeys and this nanovirus down to the planet. The nanovirus survives. She survives as well. She gets on an escape pod and she's able to survive. But the nanovirus was only set up to protect, so it would only affect one primate. She never thought about anything else. So for those of you who have trigger warnings, I will just use the word bugs. It affects certain bugs on the planet. So the bugs become big, giant, they become intelligent, and as you're reading this, you get to see the beginning of civilization, right? You see them become a society, you see them learn to communicate, to plan. You see some are warring, so there are, certain subspecies within each bug, and they will, let's take ants for example. You have your carpenter ant, you have your sugar ant, you have your fire ants. So each one has a different personality trait, and these personality traits then become enhanced. And so you'll have some that are warring, you'll have some that are very peaceful, on and on. And then so it's almost like you can get an idea of how we started, and how did we go from the hunter-gatherer to agrarian to, and that's kind of what this is. And so I really enjoyed it. If you have a problem with certain bugs, especially, well, it's not even a bug, but it begins with the letter S. It's not considered an insect, and it begins with the letter S. You will not want to read this. There are ants. They talk about some other minor bugs, but they're not really a big deal. But yeah, if you have a problem with that one. Okay, so the next one was an audiobook. I'm only going to tell you about 3. These are my 3 favorites, but there were 7 or 8 books that I've read or listened to. So I'm going to give you 3. It's called Stone Blind by Nicolee Payne. This is Stone Blind. And it is a retelling of the Greek gods. So you have Zeus, you have all of them. You have Apollo, but the main one, sorry. And while the story goes off, so while you don't always see Medusa in every chapter, Medusa is kind of the central part of the story. Medusa starts off as a very sweet girl. She does not have snakes on her head. She has the most empathy of anyone you could ever imagine. She loves everybody. She accepts everyone for their differences, and she just revels in the world. There is nothing that does not amaze her. She's just this young girl that is growing up and wants to experience everything, right? And finds joy in everything. And then because of how she is, she ends up being attacked by one of the male gods in order to protect human girls. And she now is scared, and then as a result, one of the themes of this book is misogyny. So if the males, let's use Zeus for example, if Zeus impregnates a girl, whether it's human or a god, then his partner will then punish the girl who had no chance of saying no, right? The men are never punished. And so that's how Medusa becomes Medusa. She is punished for an act done to her. From there, I won't tell you what else happened. I don't want to take away from that. But yeah, it was, I'm not sure if this was marketed towards young adults or not. There's really nothing, I mean, you know, the R word, okay, against women. You know that's happening, but you never have any details. So it could almost be a book for a young adult. This last one is Ruin Falls by Jenny Milchman. And this one, a husband and wife are taking their 2 young children to meet his parents, who he's been estranged from. And partway there, it's a one-day trip, but he decides, you know what, the kids are been in the car a long time, let's stay the night in a motel. So they get a motel, and they get a suite. So the kids have their room, the adults have their room, and the mother wakes up and it's like 8 in the morning, and she's like, wow, the kids slept in. Okay. Well, she goes to check on the kids to find the kids are gone. And so now, you know, she's searching the hotel. She thinks, oh my God, maybe they left. Maybe they, you know, because they're together. Maybe they, oh my gosh, maybe they went to the pool. Maybe the police are called and everybody's being checked, right? And you learn this early on, so this is kind of a spoiler, but the husband did it, right? But you don't know why, and you don't know where. And the police, when they figure this out, they tell her, there's nothing we can do. You guys are married. He has as much right to take the children as you do. And so they won't help her. So she pretty much is falling apart, but she has to find her kids. So you have to figure out, why did he take the kids? Where are the kids? You know. And so it's a search for her to find her children. And I figured out really early on that this was an inside that the husband did. So but it's like, well, why? And yeah, the husband, he did, and that's when she puts it together that, wait a minute, this was inside, and hey, by the way, where's my husband? Because after he helped her try to find the kids in the hotel, he disappears as well. So, very good book. Okay, I think that's probably all I have for you. I'm looking around like, did I forget anything? I think that's it. So, I hope you've had a great time these last few weeks. I've missed talking to you. I missed hearing how you have been. So, tell me down below, how have you been? I didn't have any finishes, but have you? What are you working on? Come on, tell me something. And I will let you go. I'm being goofy now. And I'm hearing construction starting, so I want to get off this right now. So I hope that I was able to catch all the noise and you didn't have to put up with that. And have a great, I think I'll be back in about 2 weeks. I think so. So have a great 2 weeks, and I'll see you soon. Bye.